What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today, we need to talk, ladies and gentlemen. We need to talk about one of the most exciting Digimon cards that has gone and been revealed. This one is an absolute monster. Translation from the lovely folks over at Ensan Gaming. What we've got here is the rather, well, frankly, intimidating Omegamon Merciful mode. Yeah, it's another Omnimon, as it's going to be translated over here. It's another Omnimon, and Omnimon tends to be really good, and there is absolutely no reason to believe that this is not also going to be really good. Speaking of also, our translations also come from the lovely folks over at digimoncard.dev. So what we've got here is a 15 cost to play normally, 6 cost to digivolve, 15,000 power, which is everything we generally expect to see from a level 7. But it can digivolve from red, or blue, or yellow, or green. The 4 initial colours. Back when BT1 launched, these were the 4 colours. BT2 came around and introduced purple and black. These are the 4 original, technically the 3 original colours were blue, red, and yellow. They were what the starter X had. But then green came in BT1, so I suppose technically not an original colour, but I'm willing to count it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm willing to count it. So essentially, you can't digivolve from purple or black. Gee whiz, it almost seems like it's got something against purple and black, and it absolutely does. Now, one interesting thing here, this can digivolve for free memory from any Digimon with Omnimon in its name. And that's actually really, really good, because we have a bunch of Digimon that have Omnimon in their name. Like a weirdly large amount of Digimon that have Omnimon in their name. They're all level 7s for what it's worth, but we got the Omnimon that originally came around in BT1 that's got a really good Digivolution skill. Delete one of your opponent's Digimon and all their Digimon that share a name with it. And then a really nice attacking skill lets you return a level 6 to your hand from under it to make it active. But actually, one of my issues with that Omnimon has always been that you get the good Digivolution skill, yay! Then you get that, first get rid of the level 6 and unsuspend. But then without a huge amount of trickery, you're not getting a second unsuspend. So you get kind of a good Digivolution and then an unsuspend. You get a really good first turn, and then you're like, man, I wish this was better. Because after that first turn, which sometimes is good enough to win you the game, let's be clear, but after that first turn, you've used your shot. And it's a great shot, but then it's done. Well, here you can be like, yay, I've gotten the ridiculous use out of this card. Now let's digivolve it up to a different level 7, and then just keep going. Or maybe we could talk about the Omnimon from BT5. It's got a advance when you digivolve, which is nice. And you unsuspend when you digivolve, which is nice. And then on all turns, if an opponent's effect would delete this Digimon or return it to your hand or deck, you can prevent it by trashing a level 6 in your Digivolution cards. But then, of course, you've used your level 6, and like I say, without a lot of trickery, you don't have another level 6. So after you've digivolved and gotten rid of your level 6, again, it's a little disappointing. You want to have some more tricks to play with. That helps here. And yes, I know it's digivolving from white at that stage, but do remember, it's just digivolving from an Omnimon for free cost. It doesn't matter that they're white. Good. Yay. But that's not actually the only thing about it. That's just kind of a nice little bonus. Because when you digivolve, you delete one of your opponent's Digimon for each card with Mega in its traits in this Digimon's Digivolution cards. Megas being level 6s and level 7s. So, of course, if you get a level 6, get into a level 7, then digivolve into this, you've got your level 6 and your level 7, so you get to delete 2 of your opponent's Digimon. And it's really, really important to note here that it's just 2 of your opponent's Digimon. It's not 2 of your opponent's Digimon of a play cost of this or less, or with a power of this or less, or anything along those lines. All it is here, the only thing that's important, is that they are Digimon. That's literally it. As long as they are technically Digimon, you can delete them. That's huge, ladies and gentlemen. That is genuinely absolutely huge. If you go up from a level 7 into a level 7, and that's clearly what this is designed to be, you should be deleting any 2 Digimon when you Digivolve up. Obviously, if you Digivolve from a level 6 into this, and that is absolutely possible to do so, you still get this skill, but now you've basically got your level 6 Mega, so you're deleting any Digimon. And to be fair, right, let's not say that as a particularly bad thing. If you can delete any Digimon, that's clearly a bonus, but it's not quite on the same level as deleting any 2. If you can delete any 2 of your opponent's Digimon, they're going to have one redonkulous board setup rolling in order to survive that. If they don't have a ridiculous board and you delete 2 of their Digimon, they're basically done at this stage. And that's kind of wonderful, but that's not all, ladies and gentlemen. Because after that, you return 10 cards from your opponent's trash to the bottom of their deck in any order. Oh. Well, that's kind of nice now, isn't it? Yes. Yes, it is, ladies and gentlemen. Now look, obviously one of the win conditions in this game is decking out. If you can't draw a card to start your turn, you will deck out and you will lose the game. But the game's been out for a little while now. That's just not something we see. Like, deck out, I've never been in a game that's ended in deck out. I am not aware, and please correct me in the comment section if I'm missing something here, I am not aware of an archetype which aims to win by deck out. I've not come across that. So, basically, decking out is just not a thing. And when I say I've not come across an archetype, I've seen lists and I've seen ideas. What I mean is a successful deck that's taking down tournaments. So sure, you're getting your opponent further away from decking out, and I suppose in some ways that's a bad thing, but really what you're doing is hurting decks that play from the trash. I have told you in dozens and dozens of videos at this stage that Purple love playing from the trash. Purple are giant fans of playing from the trash. And what you're going to turn around and do here is go, oh, yeah, you can't play from the trash anymore. Because if you try and play from the trash, I'm just going to take those cards and put them back into your deck, and now all of a sudden you lose. And that's kind of wonderful. And that's what this is, right? The whole point of this is you are trying to shut down those purple decks that are relying on playing from the trash. And it's not just purple decks, it's also black decks. We'll get to those in a moment. But any of those decks that are trying to play from the trash and win in that regard, you just come along and you're like, ha! And then they lose, ladies and gentlemen. And then they lose. So Beelzemon comes in as a nice example here. This is one that was really good back in BT2, but is getting a real renaissance in EX2. And you've got things like the Beelzemon from BT2. If you have 10 or more cards in your trash, your Impmon can Digivolve into this card in your hand by paying a Digivolution cost of 4, going from a level 3 right up to a level 6. And sure, if they've got 12 cards in their trash and you can only put 10 back, they will manage to avoid this. But if you can fire this skill off a couple of times, this is going to work. And when it works, you are going to win, because you're just going to shut them out. And that's going to be rather lovely. The Beelzemon from EX2, when you're Digivolving, you may trash the top 2 cards of your deck, then delete one of your opponent's level 3 or lower Digimon, and for every 10 cards in your trash, you add 1 to the maximum level of the Digimon you can choose here. So fewer cards, this is bringing down an entire level from that skill, which is brilliant. The Beelzemon Blast mode, for every 10 cards in your trash, this Digimon gains security attack +1, so getting rid of 10 cards from their trash gives them security attack -1. And this just goes round and round and is really damaging to that deck. I mean, one deck that I'm a big fan of that I know it's not actually as good as it should be and all of that. And I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, but I'm kind of a big fan of that D-Brigade Darkdramon deck. Return up to 5 cards of D-Brigade from your trash to your deck to gain 2 memory for each one you get back when you play Darkdramon. Well, you see, the thing is, ladies and gentlemen, if you keep taking the D-Brigade out of their trash, they're not going to be able to fire with Darkdramon, and you're going to be having a wonderful, wonderful time. These are just examples, right? There are a bunch of decks that play from the trash. There are a bunch that are out now. There will be more coming around in the future. And my point is very simple. Any deck that wants to play from the trash now or in the future, this is going to be great against. Plus, of course, you've got that skill that deletes hopefully 2 of their Digimon. Oh yeah, and during the start of your turn, you can trash the top card of this Digimon to discard the top card of your opponent's security. Yeah. So at the start of your turn, you can basically just get rid of a card from their security. That's kind of nuts. And at this stage, I need to mention something which I didn't mention earlier, which is kind of relevant. You can Digivolve for a free cost from any Digimon whose name contains Omnimon. Like, for instance, Omnimon Merciful mode. So yes, you absolutely can Digivolve a level 7 into a level 7. And here's the thing. Let's say I've got a level 7 Omnimon, and then I've got, 3 Omnimon Merciful mode. Well, in terms of Megas, I've got my level 6, my level 7 Omnimon, my 2 Omnimon Merciful mode underneath the top one. So now I'm deleting 4 Digimon. 4 Digimon! When I Digivolve up. And then, because I've got 3 Omnimon Merciful mode, 3 turns in a row, I am discarding the top card of their security. And every time I Digivolve up into a new level 7, I'm getting 10 cards back from their trash. The first Omnimon I go for will probably delete 2 of my opponent's Digimon, and that's quite nice. But the second one will get 3. And the third one will get 4. And my point is that if you keep Digivolving Omnimon Merciful mode into Omnimon Merciful mode, and because it's Digivolve free from any Digimon whose name contains Omnimon, that is absolutely on the table, literally and figuratively, then that means I can keep doing this and keep deleting, and my opponent is going to be in a whole heap of trouble, and I'm going to find it hilarious. And then feel a little bit bad, but not that bad, because I just won. This is an absolutely ridiculous, over-the-top, nutty 5 Wossie card, and this is one of those ones that you don't even really need to think about. Sure, I'm talking about stacking level 7s on level 7s, and that's not ideal, because obviously that is going to take time. You're going to have to keep drawing into the level 7s, and then there is absolutely no guarantee that you are just going to be able to keep drawing into your level 7s and keep Digivolving up. But that's basically the downside. If you get this rolling, it is absolutely flat out over the top ridiculous. Your job is to get it rolling. And I want to know how likely you think that is and how well you think you can do that in the comment section. Am I overrating this? Or is this one of those that it's going to be awkward to get rolling properly, but when it does get rolling, it's basically game over? Go nuts in the comment section, but be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWasi. That's where we talk Digimon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wossie Plays.